It's Sunday morning out here. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. I was talking to one of my neighbors this morning. Let me fix my mic for a second here. There's always this mic thing. I gotta start straightening out this mic. Forgot I had this jacket on. It's hitting up against this thing. Damn it. Let me turn this collar down some. That's better. There you don't hear anything. Excuse me. Yeah, we was talking about he drinks and smokes. He parties. You know, he's still hanging and partying. He's an older guy. He's not a kid. I'm probably a little bit older than him. Not by much. Just a little bit. Because we're pretty much on the same page. But you would really never know unless he told you, or unless you was that experienced, you could see through people, like I did him. He's a good guy. And we was talking about the women today, about how they call themselves evening up with us, and equal rights, and so on and so forth. But we know that everybody plays a role. It really doesn't matter what gender you are, what sex you are, male or female. Everyone plays a role. You got these political people. They're going to boil it down to politics. Being a man or a woman has nothing to do with politics. Either you're a man or you're a woman. And it got nothing to do with politics at all. They just always making it that way to keep people arguing. Because I was saying to him, look at it naturally. You gotta look at it from a religious point of view. Look at it just for what it is. Naturally. The stuff you know and see and feel. You know, let's keep it real, man. Naturally, a man produces a whole lot of sperm cells. As long as his shit works. And I mean thousands of sperm. Tens, hundreds of thousands of sperm in one load. You know, one nut. Where a female, her shit is precious. And these chicks don't even know how precious it really is. Because they've been brainwashed. That's why. They've been brainwashed to play with their cycle in all different kinds of ways. And take all this different experimental medication, because it's all experimental. When you're playing with your God-given cycle. So you figuring, well, my girlfriend did it, so I could do it. That doesn't stop venereal diseases. And in some cases, it doesn't even stop pregnancy. But I'll tell you one thing that it will do is fuck up your hormones and fuck up your system. And fuck up your natural cycle by messing your period up by controlling the chemicals in your body, in hormones. So what do you think that's going to do? It's going to make you feel all kind of different ways and be in different moods and stuff. Because that's what we are. We're a chemical factory. We're the most advanced chemical factory on the planet. It's human beings. We're part of the whole. Except that we can manipulate it ourselves. Everything is part of the whole. Okay? We all made out of the same stuff. Everything's made out of the same stuff. You don't know that? You all don't know that already? That everything's made out of the same stuff? It doesn't even make a difference what color you are when it comes to humans. We all made out of the same stuff. I'm about like 3 miles in on the steady, sweaty pace. Forgot to say that at first. So you may hear me breathing a little bit. But it is a beautiful day. Look. Partly cloudy. Slight breeze. It's cool. Getting warm now. Yeah, we was talking about that. So, yeah, because he tells me, because he always goes downtown here. See the street we coming up on? Chandler Boulevard. Well, if you make a right and go that way, that's right in the middle of downtown. Because I live on the next block over to the right. I live on the next block over to the right. And you see where it says right here, Chandler Boulevard. Well, if you go that way, that's where I live. I'm going this way. We walk past all of these signs. Look. Vote for me, I'll set you free. We'll put money in your pocket. We'll put a car in your driveway. We'll put hair on your head. Fuckers will tell you anything. This is beautiful. See the water fountain from last week? They wasn't doing that last week. See? There goes the water going down those rocks. These supposed to be a little bit higher, but they splash on people. These little ones. This is a nice shot right here, look. With the sun and the water. That's a beautiful picture right there. There goes my bank right there, Wells Fargo. This is my bank right here, the Bank of America's water fountain. And here goes my other bank, the Chase Bank. Then inside this market is should be a U.S. bank inside Safeway. When the COVID first came, they stopped. Gas went down. As y'all can see, gas is $2.25. It was $2.29. Now it's $2.25. Yeah, it was $2.29. See? Now it's 225. See? Crazy. I'm glad I waited. Now, when you see gas going down, that's not a good thing. Gas went down 4 cents. That's almost a whole nickel a gallon. That's not a good thing. Whenever you see the gas prices going down, that's a bad sign. Whether you realize it or not, it's a bad money sign. Because when gas goes down, gold goes down too. So if you got gold someplace stashed or wherever, once you look at the gas prices going down, the gold's going to go down too. That's the kind of shit I'll be keeping my eye on. These are the days I usually be doing like 10 miles. But then what happens is I pay for it afterwards. It'll take me like 2 days. It'll take me like 2 days to recover. When I say 2 days to recover, I mean 2 days of staying inside and just doing regular things and don't come back out. And no working out, no nothing. I worked out 2 days ago. Day before yesterday. Yesterday, I worked on the car. And the day before that, I worked on the car too. Doing electrical work. Resetting my VSA. Doing but traction control actually. Not that the lights went off, because I already know when that thing's gonna start acting up. Give you guys a hint. Save you guys thousands of dollars, if not hundreds. And a lot of times it'll happen in the winter time. A lot of times it'll happen in the winter. This will happen. You go outside. I have a remote start in my car. But sometimes in the winter, if I go straight out to the car and turn the key and try to get out of there real fast, since I have an automatic transmission, it'll stay stuck. It won't be stuck, it'll be hard to shift. It'll be hard to shift to get it out of park and to put it in neutral drive or whatever. It could be several things. But usually it's the simplest thing. You gotta check the simple shit first. Know what I found out that it'd be most of the time? It'd be the gear shifter cable on my car. The ones that got a front wheel drive, it goes straight to the transmission on the driver's side. It's like somewhere under that battery, the battery compartment. You know how you open up your hood, battery's right there to the right. It's on the tray. Well, underneath that tray, to get to it, you gotta take off that fender well that's on the inside. There's like it's a shield that covers so shit don't go up in your engine compartment, rocks and all other kind of shit and water. There's like a plastic shield in the wheel well. You got to peel that back, or either just take it off. Or take that driver's side front tire off and turn your wheel all the way to the left so you could get at it and go up in there and pull that shit off. Or you could just take a couple of the screws out and pull it to the side. And you want to take some kind of liquid wrench or something like that, or maybe just some WD-40, which I would suggest to do that. Take that with the long nozzle thing on it, that long red straw. You're going to see the linkage. It has a rubber boot on it that's like an accordion. Now there's a plate in front of it. You could take the plate off and get right at it if you want to, but you don't have to go through all of that. If you could get some on that linkage, because there's a transmission switch that is connected to. Yes, there's a transmission switch. Electronic. It's black. And it's mounted on the tranny too. Because my car has automatic tranny and it has manual. But there's a switch there. So common sense would tell you, common sense would tell me, I ain't gonna say y'all. Common sense tells me that the cable is for the mechanical part of the tranny when I want to use that. And the electronic one, it's got to be that little black, it's like a half moon shape of switch that's mounted on the tranny. That's if you have both. My car has both. My car has auto and manual transmission. It has both. Sometimes that's electronic transmission can go bad. That switch can go bad. But and some lights and some shit will come on in your dashboard or check engine light or something. But as long as you drive in manual, it still will drive. It ain't nothing to worry about. I'm trying to say is this again, is that if you're used to driving an electronic tranny, because you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the shifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like activated electronically. The other one is it's still a manual because you got to use the stick. It's like a trigger. They have like guns and shit with electronic trigger, fly-by-wire triggers. That's all that is. It's a fly-by-wire transmission. Or you could do it either or. But I stay in the mechanical one. Okay, so I'm not really worried about that switch assing out on me because I don't use it. I check it sometimes and see it up on the dashboard. You may want to check it out sometimes when you're out on the road, you know, and go through the gears. In other words, just don't keep driving your car around and from park to drive to reverse. Park, drive, and reverse. Park, drive, and reverse. Park, drive, neutral, and reverse. Because you got to go past neutral. Well, it's park, reverse, drive, neutral. Sometimes you want to put it in the neutral too. You want to run it through all the gears. My shit, I got stiff on me is what I was trying to say. It got stiff. So you tried to pull it. And you tried to pull it. It's a little miniature screwdriver. Look. You tried to pull it, and tried to put it in gear, and it was rough to get it in gear. What that is, that's that cable. That's the linkage. You got a linkage. It's a cable that runs down to this control link. It's held in there by like a cotter pin. You know, it's a linkage. You know? Then when you pull the thing in gear, it pulls the shit in gear. The cable. It's like on a bicycle. Just like a bicycle derailleur. You know, the thing pulls the thing. It's a link. Literally, it's just a linkage, and you put it in dry, and you can see it move. Because it's mechanical. It's going to move the gear shaft into place. And what I noticed was, I went to the car wash last week. Brought the car home. Got into the car a few days later on a real freezing cold morning. So I'm assuming that there was like water up in there, moisture up in there, and since it was freezing in them that morning, and I went to go put the car in gear, that cable, you know, because the cable's inside of a sleeve, you know. Cable had moisture in it, more than likely. So it's probably was like semi-frozen. Partially frozen up in there. And that link was, you know, frozen. Because, you know, the link has seals to keep the fluid in there. So the link come out of the tranny onto the connected to the cable. That was stiff. That whole thing is stiffened. So just like I said, you got to get in there and you got to spray that with some shit to loosen it up. Even if you got to do some, what is it, liquid wrench or WD-40 or something. You just got to spray a bunch of that shit up in there where that linkage is at. Then you go back in the car, you move it back and forth. The transmission, you know, handle. You move that shit back and forth. And you spray some more and you move it back and forth. Get all that crud and grease that's there. And I'm quite sure there's a way that you could squirt some of that liquid shit, you know, wrench or whatever, or oil, some real thin oil down into the, like a brake cable on a bicycle. It's a cable like that, man. It's a strand cable that pulls that linkage on the tranny to put your shit in gear. That could even become, that could even break inside the case, you know, the casing, and cause friction inside when you shift the gear back and forth. It's rubbing inside of the dam. It's rubbing inside of the damn the sleeve, because the cable's in the sleeve, like a tube. You know, the cable. If you get some grease or some oil in there, that'll make it work, you know, better. And it won't get stuck. And then sometimes that could come loose too. If that cotter pin was to get out some kind of way, and the cable just flapping around, you're not getting that car in gear. Manually, mechanically, you probably could get it in gear. Just go to the electronics trans, but you have to get it out of park first. I'll get it to run. Now they went down in their gas. Their gas is 23. See, their gas is 223 and 229 with a credit card. Whew. Yeah, so I had to fix that. I fixed that by just get out of that. You gotta just let the car warm up. Let the car warm up. Right? Let the car warm up. That makes everything warm and slippery. Then you move the shifter, because it's going to be easy now because the car's warmed up. Then you move the shifter. See the price of the gas now? $2.23. $2.23. You move the shifter. You put it in each gear. You do that a few times. That's going to move that linkage arm back and forth and back and forth. And once you get it going, you're good. Because if you get in there and try to just bully it, it ain't going to work. Check engine light's going to come on. If you get inside there and try to bully it, check engine light's going to come on. And it's going to tell you some kind of transmission bullshit. Because you're going to have it in gear. You're going to have it in gear. And some transmission bullshit's going to happen. Code's going to pop up. I knew something was wrong when the check engine light came on. I said it didn't do that before, but it did it when I had a hard time shifting. I was saying to myself, I said, I know that ain't that fucking bad. I said, I know that the transmission fluid ain't that thick. It ain't frozen like that. Because that's liquid. It ain't going to freeze like water. It's still going to stay viscous. So then I had to put it together. And did some research, put it together, thought about it. And I said, that's what it is. It's that lever. It's that lever that the cable's connected to pull the tranny into gear, through its gears. And that lever can get a bunch of shit behind it, or get a bunch of fucking crud and dirt and water and grease and all that shit could get up in there and, and jamming that lever up. So you just got to clean it off real good. And then flick it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it could, because it'll bind up. That's what it does. It binds up. That's a word. It binds up. That lever binds up where the cable goes. So you just gotta loosen that up. You take it to the shop, they'll be telling you, you need a new tranny, you need this, you need that, and all this other shit. Charge you a $2,000. They'll tell you some shit like, oh, we didn't have to change your tranny. What we did was we changed the tranny fluid. And we noticed this, that, and the other thing. So we changed the tranny switch, and we changed this, and we changed that, and we changed the filter. Tell you some old bullshit. Tell you your bill is $1,899. When there's some shit where you just could have waited till you warmed your car up and go through the gear box with the stick, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That's making that lever go back and forth and up and down, up and down and up and down. So that doesn't make that lever go like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Loosening it up. Because all you guys are doing is taking your shit out of park and putting it in reverse or drive. The only time you probably put it in neutral is when you go to the car wash. So sometimes, same when you change the transmission oil. Sometimes, like when you change the transmission oil, you get the oil to flow through the whole tranny, you got to put it in each gear. Take it out of park. All right? Put your foot on the brake. Take it out of park. Put it in drive. Put it in reverse. Put it in neutral. Put it in drive. Put it in one. You're going to feel the car move. Then you want the car to, you want to feel the gears engage. You take it out of park, you put it in drive. You got your foot on the brake. You're going to feel the car lunge. You put it in neutral. No, first one's going to be reverse. Put it in the park, you put it in reverse. You're going to feel the car trying to take off backwards. It's going to lunge back. Put it in neutral. Put it in drive. You're going to see. You want the car to react to each gear you put it in. You want the car to react. Therefore, you know that the gear is working. You do that 2, 3, 4 times. And that's getting the fluid to, because there's a lot of little channels. It's called venturis. There's a lot of little venturis inside and little ports inside of the transmission. It's like a little maze of ports. You want the fluid to get all in there. And then between the plates, you want to get that fluid to flow through every nook and cranny in that transmission, every nook and cranny in that tranny, by moving those gears. And even by doing that, you're loosening up that lever at the same time. But say if it's real dirty and you put your car away for the winter or some shit for months, and you come back, you try to get it started, then you try to put it in gear and you can't move the gear shifter. That's what it is. Step on because you got to switch when you step on the brake. The switch releases that transmission. The switch releases the transmission because you can't put it in gear unless you got your foot on the brake. So you put your foot brake on it. Sometimes that switch could be bad too. There's a switch underneath your brake pedal. It makes your brake lights come on and off. It connects to like a solenoid switch, a solenoid release switch that lets you be able to use your transmission. Sometimes that switch will break or short out or whatever. And you could think it's the tranny or the brakes and whatever. You be thinking about it's all kind of crazy shit when really it's not. Yeah, really it's not. It be just other simple shit. And then you wind up taking it to the fucking then you wind up taking it to the dealer, and he try to charge you $1,000 for some shit you could fix. Some shit you could fix yourself. So that's what this is going to be about. Maybe it's not your tranny. That's what I'm going to name this video. Maybe it's not your transmission. And watch how many hits it get. Maybe it's not your transmission. Save money. People's going to click on it. Peace and love, y'all. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope y'all all had a safe Halloween. And made it this morning. Made it home this morning. Peace.